Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Ultraman Z. Ultraman Z Delta Rise Call Special Ultra Metal. We're finally here. We're finally finishing these. Just like the Z Gamma Future Special Metal, I think these were actually months apart, but basically, I think this one was the Ultra Expo exclusive? Maybe? Cause I know one of these was the Subaraya store exclusive, and one of these was the Ultra Expo exclusive. Maybe it was the other way around. Anyways, you had to get a special clear version of the Z Delta Rise Claw vinyl. I didn't want to. I had to struggle and get this thing individually. I realized I forgot to talk about the price for this one, but there's a reason why. Yeah. So, as we can see here, besides the serial number, this one they actually decided to give silver. The same silver that came from the Ultra Brothers. Which is cool. It's at least cool to see another metal in this style and such. Because I think most of us would have thought they would have just given us the Rise metal outline. So, seeing silver for Delta Rise Call is actually pretty cool. And, obviously, just like the Gamma Future just like the Gamma Future metal, we do have the components of Gamma Future. So we have Zero Beyond, Jeed, and Belial Atrocious. And then Gamma Future in the middle. And we still have that sky background and such, which technically will make these metals the only ones to not indicate their colors, which is interesting. So let's just use this in the Z Riser. We'll start. Please start. So that one interestingly gives us New Generation Heroes, which makes sense because that all these Ultras. Oh, I mean, no Zero. I think they're trying to retrofit Zero and Belial under the New Generation lineage, but this form is like the pinnacle of New Generation. No, it's not. That's Galaxy Rising, which makes sense as to why this one is just Ultra Heroes, because obviously this is the Heisei trilogy, and this I think is supposed to be yellow LED. Let's make sure. Is this? No. That's actually green. Okay. So you think that's basically it? No, because basically we actually do need all three of these metals because somehow people discovered that they actually make a combo. I mean, they're not wrong. So I think we have Zet and Riku in that. But we get that, like, simple phrase and such. Again, I don't remember if they advertised this or if it's just people being curious. Because, I mean, appearance-wise, this makes sense why they're a combo. But, like, sound-wise, the temperature overheats. Sound-wise, they're very disconnected, which is kind of funny. But our finisher is expected. To the point it doesn't want to do it. Nothing. I think this combo would have benefited from being able to use like switch between the Ultra or the Access cards, but sadly that's not the case. So I will say this one's my favorite of the three. Just appearance wise, I still think this one's probably the best one functionality, even though it's kind of the same. But I feel like it's just because this one is literally what it's supposed to be. This one advertises what it is. It's the Zet Alpha Edge Special, and it actually says Zet Alpha Edge Special. These other two felt like, I mean, I appreciate that they wanted to have all these consistent and such. I appreciate it, but it's just, again, sound wise, it's kind of weird, and like technically, I think without the appearance, you wouldn't have known to put these three sounds together because, again, they're heavily disconnected. But I mean, I think what you get for the final result is pretty neat overall, and such. And again, for me, like Delta Rise Claw is my favorite of the Zet forms, so it's pretty cool to have this. But like, is it necessary? Like, if you really do want this combo, then yeah. But like, if you don't want it, then you don't have to. Now, I never went over how exactly I got these because I just kind of skimmed over it. I actually got these three. I got these three medals in a lot for $15, which I kind of justified it because like 15 divided by 3, that's $5 per medal. So yeah, in a way, I did get these for $10. I did get these for $5 each and such because, again, I think with the vinyls, these are $10. So like, I think these are fun, but like they're definitely not necessary. And like overall, I do think I'm kind of confused at where I'm trying to go, but I think it's cool that they did make these event exclusive medals actually matter and actually have them all come together. I think that's like a nice payoff. I think that's where I want to get with it. Because I feel like that was the last series that they actually bothered with doing event exclusive gimmick items. Because since then, like, I feel like they barely tried. Because, again, we'll have Ultra Heroes Expo and then like Ultra Heroes Festival or Ultraman Festival and then Ultra Heroes Expo sounds within these toys, and they just don't bother putting them out. Like, yes, technically, like Zet most likely has those sounds, but they didn't put those sounds because they dedicated it to these sounds instead. But it's still at least like something. Trigger, Decker, Blazar, and most likely Arc are not going to actually go out there, are not actually going to throw together event exclusive items for some reason anymore because they just want to lock those sounds within the toys. Like, it's kind of bothersome. So I commend Zet for actually being the last series for doing that and such. And like, I think that basically does it and such. I just realized I never dedicated one of these videos to actually talk about my thoughts on the toy line as a whole. But I don't want to do it to this video because technically we're not done. We're done for now, but like because of how late I'm recording these, I'm pushing off for the items to later this year. Just for the sake of it. So I apologize for that. It's kind of clear what those 4 items are because if we did them now, that's too much time. It's too much of my time that gets consumed. So we'll probably do it in the first Zet video that comes whenever we get back to this toy line. But for the main toy line at least, I think we basically are. We're basically done with the retail line. Like, I'm generally not trying to purposely extend the duration. It's just because I just genuinely forgot. But I don't really know what more to talk about the Zet toy line. Like, not in a bad way, because after dealing with Blazar and going, like, after revisiting Zet, I feel like, I don't know, because, like, I feel like there's, like, kind of two perspectives to talk about the toy line. Either just the toy line in general, or the atmosphere of collecting it back when it was airing. Because I think basically there's two directions to go at this. Collecting it back when this was airing was abysmal, but the toy line, the toy line itself was mostly stellar and did a good job at like expanding on what followed before of Orban G. While it did feel restrictive because of, like, it did still feel restrictive. I still think Orb is the most free-formed version of doing fusions. Like, it's that I'm happy they did open up some aspects of the fusions, like with Zero being able to do all of his forms and such, and just correcting some of how some fusions are actually done. The issue too was just that they weren't too adamant about actually pushing out everything that was necessary. Like, where were the necessary kaijus we needed to make the Bellio fusions, or just any kaiju fusions? Where are the last 4 fusions we need to make the Fusion Fight fusions? And, like, you can nitpick on that aspect, but at least for the most part, they did release everything and such. And, you know, playing around with the Zet Riser, for the most part, is fun. Obviously, you will see through the videos that, like, the button for some reason just doesn't want to, like, recognize that you actually did anything and wants to, like, cancel. But, like, I really do like the play. I really do like the play pattern of the Zet Riser. For the most part, like, I still have some gripes about like how they handle some things, and I just think it's unfortunate that some opportunities they barely took. But like, other than that, like, I do think this toy line was pretty solid and such. Exhaust. But as I said before, technically we're done with the retail stuff for Zet. Even though this is technically retail, but we still have 4 premium items to take a look at, which again I'll do that in a few months. Just because if we cover them now, it will be too time consuming. So I hope that's okay. So that'll do this review. This is Rhino. Love you people. Bye.